Hey everyone, welcome back to Bros and Shows. I am your host, Josiah, aka Mauler67, and with me, as always, I got my buddy, I got my pal, I got my brother Austin. Austin, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Not too bad,
Not
It's
too bad.
normal.
Just pretty normal, just doing your own thing, enjoying your own life, having
Yeah.
all the beautiful things happening.
Yeah, it's normal stuff, Always normal stuff.
Always normal stuff. That's good. Anything cool happen?
No.
Really? Dang.
Really.
We had 2
nothing
weeks
right
and
now.
nothing happened for you.
No, nothing too exciting. I just had a whole bunch of stuff that was always going on. I got so much stuff
Austin,
going on.
last week was the Super Bowl. That's why we didn't do it.
Yeah.
Did you not
Yeah.
do anything fun for that? Did you not have fun?
Oh no.
Was it
No,
not
no,
entertaining?
It was entertaining because I'm a Bengals fan, so I do not like the Chiefs. I actually have not liked the Chiefs for a long time. I don't like that team, period, actually. So it was really great to see the Philadelphia Eagles just spank the crap out of the Chiefs. It was phenomenal. It
Yeah.
made me just so happy. But that was pretty much it. Like, I
People-
really didn't do too much this week. I did get sick once this week. I had like that stomach flu that was going around with some people at just around here in Ohio, and then we just had we just had a bunch of snow here in Ohio, about almost a foot of snow, actually, close to it. Like I would think maybe a foot.
Dang.
But it's a lot. Like I was gonna say, it's like 8, maybe 6 to 8 inches, something like that. Maybe 5. I don't know. I'm just eyeballing here, but it's a lot of snow. It was a lot of fun, and I had to go out in it multiple times to pick up people, or I had to go pick up my groceries tonight because we did a pickup. So we're like, okay, let's do that. But overall, I've just been sitting around most of the time, just playing Red Dead with you. And then I've been playing Balatro, like always. But pretty much that's been pretty much it. I've been rewatching some shows that I haven't watched in a long time. I finally am back on TikTok, so I've been like watching a whole bunch of videos that I need to catch up on, and then like people post videos of TV shows or movies, and then I'll start watching those because those like TikToks they'll have, and I'm like, all right, I'll try this show out, or it's like a really corny movie, and I'm like, what is this movie? I forget what movie it was. It was like some movie, and it's got like, do you remember? Okay, so the movie Air Bud,
Mm-hmm.
the janitor from Air Bud, is like at the end he's like, I'm Walt Chamberlain. He's like, Mr. Chamberlain, I remember when you did the whatever. So like that guy is in this movie where they are like divvying up like this fortune or whatever it's called. And so like this guy's like super rich, and like all the family's getting these things, but they're getting stiffed really with it. Like the guy that's a millionaire isn't giving them all the money, he's just giving them some of the heritage. And the thing is what's really funny is Skylar's in it, the girl that plays from Breaking Bad. She's in it too, and she's like a stuck-up woman that like was dating his son, and then his son like died or something, and he still like cared for her, but she's also not. You could kind of tell she's like in it for the money, period.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like one distant cousin that doesn't even remember his uncle or whatever, and he's like, oh, I don't even know why I'm here, and they're like, actually, you need to spend over like $2 million, and then you get the rest of the fortune. And I'm like, what is this movie? It looks stupid and cheesy. So that's the kind of movies I've been like watching recently, just goofy, weird movies. That, and watch Better Call Saul again, like getting through that. That's a lot of episodes. But excuse me. But yeah, pretty much that's all I've been doing. So how about you? What have you been up to for the last couple weeks?
Well, last week I had let me check the date. Yes. So last week I had a wait, hold on. Yeah. So last week I had Vampire the Masquerade. I had my LARP thing. And then I also played on a online Vampire the Masquerade game on Sunday, which was in Hawaii. Not theoretically in Hawaii, hosted by a bunch of players out there who there's not enough of them living near each other to effectively play, so they play online. And there's a handful of people who do that just because they're all over the place. They live in the middle of nowhere or not enough players, blah blah blah. So I played with them then, and then this week I did it again. It was so good, I did it again. I went to they did one for a game out in Alaska, and so I proxied out there and played on Discord with them all at that time too. And that was fun. It was good. It's nice to be able to play the game. I got screwed over pretty badly. The Alaska one happened last night. So in the game you have hunger 1 through 5 or 0 through 5, and every game you start at hunger 1. And as you like do things, your hunger will go down. The lower you get on your hunger tracker, the worse things can be for you. And effectively what just kept happening is I kept failing, and the ST was like, hey, you succeed, but there's a cost. The cost is you lose 1 hunger. I went out to check like something that was going on. Turns out it was an illusion, and it disappeared. And I kept failing the checks to understand what was going on. And I went all the way down to hunger 4, and which caused me to become paranoid. Like, it gave me a negative that was like paranoia. And I walked back in and just started like accusing people. I'm just like, y'all played me as a fool. You thought I was crazy, but I was on to you. Like, I just started like going off on people. And people is just like, I came here to help. I was here. I was willing. I was told to go check it out. And it's all fake. I'm on to you. You all know this. And it turns out I was actually right. Like, I went in there like just playing as if I was paranoid. And apparently it was a challenge to see if anyone was going to like go and uphold the what's known as the masquerade. And my character did it, and so I won the reward, and so I got a bunch of stuff. But my character by the end of the night is just like, I won, but at the cost of my sanity. I can't trust anyone no more. And so it was just a fun little game. Fun little game. I think it was enjoyable as crud. But yeah, did that. Been playing Monster Hunter occasionally with John and them, and waiting for the 28th for it to come out. Big things. And then I also on the 1st have a wing challenge night with my friend Josh, where we're buying a bunch of super hot sauces, a bunch of chicken, either chicken like nuggets or chicken wings, and me, Josh, and like 3 or 4 other people are all going to get together and try them all out. We're thinking about doing some like games where we all like, I guess you would say like test whatever out. And it's gonna be crazy. He got this hot sauce that's like 6.66 million Scoville, which is apparently like double the hotness of the 1 chip challenge. So yeah, that's gonna be great. There's 1 bathroom in that house, and I think things are not gonna go good. But other than that, yeah, no, been playing Red Dead with you and enjoying the crap out of it. And Austin. So we had 2 weeks to watch the show, just because of the Super Bowl. We decided to take off for that because you were busy and you forgot that, hey, this falls on the same day. That's my bad. And so now we're up to here now, and it's time to talk about the show that you made me watch, Hellsing Ultimate. It's funny. I've known of Hellsing for a while. I've never watched it. It's kind of in the same line as the other show you made me watch, that Trinity Blood. Yeah. I've seen pictures of them. I've seen like arts, comics, like a lot of people are fans. I recognize the characters, but I've never watched it. And it was interesting to dive in from my own perspective and my own style of stuff into a series that I don't think it's that old. How old was it? Like 2000 something? It was like 2000 something.
Hellsing Ultimate came out in, I think it was like 2008. And then
2008?
Hellsing, the original show, came out in 2001.
Yeah. And I don't know like what's the big difference between the two. I assume it's probably on the same line as like Full Metal Alchemist, where it's like the first one had its own kind of story, went a little weird, and then Brotherhood followed more to the manga or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like the first one just it had its own weird storyline, and then the second one was pretty followed to the manga that I've been told by multiple people. I haven't read the manga yet. But what I've been told by like a couple people that do love this show, they're like, yeah, I followed the manga very well. So I was like, oh, okay, that, at least I've watched the original Hellsing and I'm not a fan, but I did like Ultimate, and there's reasons why I like this show, and you could probably guess why. But yeah,
because you're a pervert. Here's your $3.26. You pervert.
No.
Pervert.
No.
Pervert. Pervert. Yeah, you
No.
pervert.
No.
That was a Bob Burger reference. You weren't going into it, and so I was.
Oh, I forgot all the.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Pervert.
No,
Wait,
yeah.
yeah.
It's too late. It's too late. The bit has passed, Austin. So would you? There's something that's like, what'd you think of Hellsing? But more question is like, why did you make me watch this?
So
like, what were you hoping to get from me from having me watch this?
Well,
because I can think of a couple things.
So a couple things. One, yeah, I would think out of most any vampire anime, this is pretty close to one of my favorite vampire animes. I will say that it's not my favorite vampire anime.
What's your favorite vampire anime?
Man, I don't know. I still have to give it to Castlevania. Season 2 of Castlevania will just
the first season, the first series,
yeah, like the second season of that show is just perfect. Like that was like a roller coaster ride of emotions and just all this amp and great effects, and there was a lot of stuff. This is a show that the reason why I wanted you to watch it is because it reminds me of anime. When I watch anime, usually the only reason I watch anime is when someone tells me how ridiculous it is or how stupid it is. And I remember, well, most of the time, except for you, you're like, hey, you're gonna watch this because this is good.
No. I'm laughing at the concept of that. It's stupid or it's whatnot.
Well, it's just goofy, like it's over the top, just crazy. And that's what Hellsing is to me. Like, this is an over-top anime, overpowered main character. Storyline, the villains and some of the dialogue is just goofy. But I enjoy it so much because it's like one of those animes where you don't have to take everything seriously, in my opinion. It's like one of those just sit back, relax, and like enjoy this crazy ride that you're watching. It's nothing that's like, so with Full Metal Alchemist or Brotherhood, there's like this thing where like, there's this overall conclusion and like it's like this big heartwarming thing, and it comes to this certain conclusion. And Hellsing kind of does that, but it doesn't. So it's more of like just ridiculousness after ridiculousness. And so it reminds me of like animes like JoJo and other things. But I watched this before JoJo. We actually watched this. I watched this right after I watched Elephant Lad. And someone recommended that because we were watching Elephant Lad at my house, and I forget who it was. I think it was like one of Andrew Swinehart's friends that was over, recommended that anime. I was like, you guys should watch Hellsing Ultimate if you like this. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, it's goofy. Like it's just over the top craziness, but it's great. It's really good vampire anime. And I was like, oh, okay. So ever since we started the podcast here, I was like, that's probably one that he's watched before. And then like, was it like a couple months ago, I asked you about it and you're like, no, I haven't watched it. I was like, oh man. So I had it on like the list of things that we should watch, and I was just like scrolling down like past the Plex there for a while, and I was like, what are we gonna watch? There it is, Hellsing Ultimate. So we got around to watching it finally, but I really want to know, what did you think of Hellsing Ultimate? Because it is one of my favorite vampire animes. I will say that, just because there isn't a lot of good vampire animes out there.
No, I actually think that I'm kind of surprised with the concept of vampires in anime. Like, I actually feel like most of the vampire animes we watched were good. And the ones that I felt like were kind of lackluster or just kind of poorly put together, I'm like, they could have named it something else and they wouldn't be vampires, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know that I know that for like Hellsing, the functionality of them being vampires does actually play a point and play a big role in it. And there's a lot of story beats around that. But then when you look at something like Trinity Blood, you could name them something else and not use the term vampire, and the story wouldn't suffer at all. Because there wasn't much of a story to begin with. But then like other shows, like you mentioned Castlevania would fall apart for sure because the whole built on it. When it comes to Hellsing, I think it's a good vampire show. How do I say this? Like, I enjoyed it. First off, I enjoyed it. That's never going to be an issue with me. I'm not going to say that I didn't enjoy it. I had a hard time watching this without not thinking about other series. I couldn't help but think every time I saw Alucard with the silver and black bullets and the red trench coat, I'm like, Vash Stampede. I'm thinking of Vash Stampede. I don't know which one came first. I just know which one I've seen first. And then they're all like, we're the Hellsing organization. We work under the British Crown, and like we are their secret government agents who kill ghouls. I'm like, read or die. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. You know, they're all working under the organization. Even some of the animations from this are reminiscent of Read or Die, just a lot more gruesome and bloodier. And it was weird for me to watch it and just constantly think to myself, I'm like, I'm not sure if those animes pulled from this one or if this anime pulled from those. Or if they all came out roughly around the same era and there was just a theme of main protagonists being some ancient deity or monstrosity and them wearing red, you know? Because I even like there was like scenes at the end where he's like standing there and like his like cloak is bellowing everywhere with bullet holes everywhere, and I'm just like, that straight up looks like Spawn. Like, that's just Spawn. And I'm like, I don't know if that's their intention or not. And so yeah, like it was like a weird thing watching it and just constantly thinking about that as I'm watching the show. I mean, ultimately, I liked it. I also started laughing when they're just like, oh my god, it's Nazis. And they're like, oh, the big bad guys are Nazis. And then they're like, not only that, but the Nazis are teaming up with the Catholic Church. KKK. Like, oh my god.
It's so over the top. That's how ridiculous it is. If you want to hate something, if you're like, oh yeah, these vampires are bad, and they're like, yeah, vampires, you know,
vampires are bad, but
it's like, what about Nazis?
They're worse. They're Nazi vampires.
My God!
Watch out for the church,
Catholic
and
Church.
The KKK.
KKK.
Like I know that they're not supposed to be like the KKK. Like they're the Catholic order. It's like they knew what they were putting up on there, like the symbolism there, whatnot. And the fact that the Pope was running around being like, "Kill all Protestants. The only good Protestant is the dead Protestant." And I'm just like, yeah, no, not. That's the rhetoric there, and it made me laugh the more and more it got there. And I also will find it funny. I said it to you, Austin, and I don't remember if you remember me saying this whenever I first started watching it, or no, I think I said it later, but I'm like, Man, I was really disheartened in the first 2 episodes that the little girl just kept getting like molested.
Groped. Yep, groped.
And I'm like,
Molested.
I don't like this. They don't need to have this every single scene with her. They don't need to have this at all. There's no point to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they make the arbitrary notion that it's like, if the vampire has to be a virgin, I guess, and that's what creates another vampire, or something to that degree. And I'm like, okay, sure, I guess that makes sense. That explains why there's not a bunch of vampires all over the place, but they're all ghouls. And then then we get told like later in the episode, I think it's like 2 episodes in, they're just like, yeah, these vampires that are going around killing and turning other things into vampire like ghouls, they're turning not just men, women, and children, but virgins as well into ghouls. And I'm like, what, they can just choose not to activate that power or to turn someone? I don't understand the concept of these enemy vampires. Like, what's their goal? Like, what's all that stuff? And it gets revealed later, and the reveal feels
Goofy.
not goofy. It feels like a little much for what it was. You know, like the whole function of the Hellsing organization, let's kill vampires and all that stuff. And then you have the Vatican Church, who's also like, we kill vampires, and we have these crazy priests and suicide priests called the Iscariot, the Judas priests, equivalently of like suicide bombers is what they turned out to be, which I was shocked by. But like it was weird because the whole time you're like, oh, these Nazi people are trying to kill all the places and take over the world, and they're like, no, that's not what we were trying to do all this whole time. We just wanted to kill Hellsing for the butler guy. Like, what? Like, the butler guy was actually the informant the whole time. I was like,
I love
okay,
God.
Why was he the villain? Because he wanted to kill Hellsing as a vampire killer, but he couldn't? Yes. And so he became a vampire to do so? Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, what? I'm confused. Like, what? Like, that ending felt so weird to me. Like, the whole like story leading up with like the plot of like all these vampires are doing stuff and slowly revealing about the Nazi and everything of that sort. It's weird to me because all that's a blur. And in my eyes, like, I think it's like episode 5, they're just like, all right, we're done with like the setting up the world. Now it's just doomsday on London. Like, London's being destroyed. We're attacking the Hellsing organization, the Vatican. They're doing all this stuff. And I thought the series was going to be like 8 episodes of like building the world, building these enemies, building these tensions, and then like 2 episodes for the final conflict. But this show was like 5 episodes of the final conflict. And most of the time it was just people pontificating. Like, if this show was broken down into like 3 different panels of show, it would be people talking to the camera like they're awesome, bloody explosions of death, and then those like over the top cartoony shots where they just have them going and like spiral Naruto in the background going off. It was so it felt like 3 kids in the class got paired together to come up with a story, and they all 3 got to add their own little like vibe to it, but they couldn't quite settle on what the vibe of the whole thing was. Because when they like monologue and everything, it took me out. I'm like, I get it. Yeah, okay. Go ahead and have your little Nazi spiel. Wow, this went on for 10 minutes. Oh, great. Now not Naruto. Now, Alucard's going to do his little spiel about like how death and all this stuff, and then Hellsing Girl's going to do it. Meanwhile, the other girl's over here getting groped every 5 seconds by the people who are under her, and it's just like, stop! She doesn't deserve it! I understand why people like the show. I also, you say it's over the top and crazy, and I think that's what makes the show. To me, it's like the cooler, better, and bloodier version of Blood Trinity, where Blood Trinity is the like knockoff that someone made to be like, well, that's really like vampires are really popular, let's do this. And I guess that's basically what ended up happening. But like, I don't know, dude. Like it's like a fervor dream watching that thing, man. I enjoyed it, but by the end of it, I was sitting there being like, I get what's happening here. But this is the dumbest reason for this stuff to happen. Like, they need a better culmination at the end for it. Cause like whenever the guy was like, oh, I'm doing all this, I'm sacrificing all these Nazi soldiers, all the Vatican's, all these people, all these Londoners for this butler to have this chance to kill Alucard. Because in order for them to kill Alucard, they have to separate all the past people he's murdered from him, so they get the original Alucard so they can kill him. And they do it, and they fail, and it's not that big of a deal. And the whole thing, this whole plot, was just to kill Alucard. And it's like, all of that was just to kill him? Like, if they would have set it up better to explain, like, if Alucard goes, then everything falls, or this and this. It just felt weird that why would they work with him to do this? Why is killing Alucard such a high priority? I got the reason why the priest wanted to kill him. Because he's a demon, and he's like, you are a stain of God, and I wish to kill you. But the other guy, I didn't quite understand. I think the thing that made me so happy about the series ending was the explanation of Alucard's powers.
Yeah.
And like the whole time you always saw him get like a bunch of eyes and like the big hound and everything, and you were like, cool powers. I don't understand the concept of this. And it's like, oh, every time a vampire eats someone or devours them, they take their soul and body into them.
Yeah.
And so Alucard has just murdered, because he's originally Vlad Tepes, which is the original Dracula. And he has just been periodically murdering and absorbing more and more people into him. And Alucard is just the like combination of like billions of people that he has killed over the course of years.
Yep.
And like you find out that the wolf that came out is the Hound of Baskerville, which is like Sherlock Holmes thing.
Yeah.
You see him expend the different armies. Like he apparently consumed his own army so they could always be with him. You saw his original state, which was, the original state was cool, and all I could think about is I'm like, that character looks like from Berserker and not from this show. And it's funny to me. And then they show him like as a kid, and then like it's a very interesting, I like that concept a lot. It also explained all the eyes, because like every eye was a different soul he had. I'm like, that's cool. That's a cool concept. That's awesome. And then I love the fact that they're like, in order to kill him, you have to separate them all. You have to make him expend them all out so you can kill the original him, because he could just essentially hop between the different bodies and souls.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, I'm sorry ranting. So you go for a little.
No.
How would you feel? How you feel about like the show and like the things I've said?
Well, no, like I totally agree with everything you're saying on that. And you know, that's why like I've been wanting you to watch this for a while after I found out that you've never watched it, because you know, I think it's a phenomenal show. Like I think it's a great anime. It is over the top. Some of the plot and some of the dialogue can get kind of a little rough sometimes. Like there is some dialogue that I'm just like, ugh.
The dialogue wasn't the best thing about this show, but there was some like stellar one-liners that I did like laugh at and also enjoyed. So even though there was some like, oh, there wasn't that like some of the statements are kind of weird or put wrong or awkward, there was also a lot of bangers. Like, I gotta admit, there's a lot of one-line bangers from this show that I liked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And despite him being a crazy piece of trash that ultimately like kind of failed and fell into his own like despair or whatnot, I liked the priest dude probably the most of all characters.
Oh yeah.
Just because he was like the opposite end of the same coin. Like, you have Alucard, who's like, I've succumbed to being a monster, to beast, in order to live.
His dialogue, his whole like dialogue, like 3-minute dialogue about him and religion and how he loves it.
Yeah.
That dialogue is phenomenal. I get mesmerized when he starts talking like that. I forgot about that part, and when it started like playing when I was rewatching, I was like, man, I forgot how good that dialogue is. But there is some dialogue in this show where you're like, oof. But yeah,
There was a lot of voice actors too that I kept hearing their voices, and I was like,
oh yeah,
I know this person. And the first one that sparked off of it was Hellsing. When he started talking, I'm like, I know this voice actor, but I don't know what he's from. And I'm listening to it, and I ended up looking him up because I couldn't pinpoint it. And I'm like, oh, it's freaking Orange Boy from Code Geass. That's the voice that was hitting me the whole time. Yeah. It made me laugh because I was like, oh, good old Orange Boy. Gotta love him. And I'm checking it now because I didn't check him to be sure. But I'm pretty sure that Liam O'Brien. Yep, that's what I thought. So the butler, when he was in the younger state when he was fighting Alucard, I'm like, he sounds like Liam O'Brien, or for most people it's Gaara from Naruto. That's what he sounds like. Second he started talking, I'm like, that's who it is. Looked it up. Yep, that's exactly who it is. He just spent a lot of time just like looking through and just being like, oh yeah, there's that person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then he was also the voice of the spirit. Okay, what the freak was that? See, that's part of the like, that's the three parts, you know, like the super serious gun killing, the monologue of Naruto, and then like the crazy like drug induced coma stuff. What was the spirit crap? They don't explain. They have like the spirit of the one girl's like sniper rifle, and then the spirit of, I think, Alucard's gun or something like that. Like, I didn't quite understand what was going on. Yeah, and Alucard's gun is the spirit of Bruce Willis, because like that's obviously what it was. Because it was like, I'm going to Akira Tower, and we're going to kill the dude. He's going to fall out, and then we're going to like rescue Mila Djokovic from this. And I'm like, it's just Bruce Willis.
He's diehard.
But understand this, Austin. This style of show is specifically saying like the World War II happened about 50 some years ago. So this is 1970, 1980. Those movies didn't come out until the 90s, my dude. So is he like having like hallucinogen like visions of the future?
Well, no. So like, yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it came out in the 80s. Yeah,
it makes no sense. Like, I was so confused. I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now. It really like, that was the point that broke me for a lot of the stands, because I'm like, they just did that. They just finished that. They like had all that stuff happen. Never once did they address what the heck was. He never talked to her about what that was or why that is. Nothing. I still don't understand. Yeah, that was a drug-induced coma right there, hardcore. I did not know. I just did not know what to make of that crap, because
okay. So now, since we've talked about this a little bit, did you know?
Yeah, I know.
This show is actually another type of famous.
Oh yeah? What was it?
On YouTube. Okay.
Oh yeah, the abridged series? Yes.
Yeah, have
yes,
you watched
I know.
It?
No. I know of it because
Now
me
you
and my
have to watch it. It is phenomenal. It's one of my favorite like abridges next to Dragon Ball Z.
me and my roommates back in college, we used to watch like AMV Hells because they were popular around that
Mm,
time, and they constantly use clips from Hellsing to the point where when I think it was Dragon Ball Z Abridge started becoming popular,
mm,
other shows started becoming a bridge, and it's still a thing today. Like people make a bridge series of
yeah.
like Dan to Dan has just came out, I think, and it's like good on you, do what makes you laugh or make you enjoy yourself. But I do know about it. I have not watched any
I'll
of
have
it.
to show you one of my favorite clips of that when we get done with the podcast. So, uh, but yeah, no, I'm glad. I'm actually kind of glad. I didn't have a doubt that you would probably not like this anime. It does hit on so many different cool, and I actually really do like that when he feeds, he does suck those souls like into him. So like he like has like all these different weird powers. That's what I like, his power, how they explain it.
Hmm.
The ending of the show, what did you think of the end of the show? Like, some people I've read that they do not like the ending of the show.
Well, what do you
I
mean,
thought
like
it
the
was,
the final, like what happens to Alucard type deal thing?
yeah, kind of like what,
So,
like,
one, the guy being a cyborg was stupid to me.
yeah, it is.
And then the fact that he's like, I'm a cyborg, I can't really die, and then she just shoots him one time in the head, and it's like, that's enough. That's enough to kill me. I thought it was stupid. If they would have explained it more, I think that'd been cool. And I think what could have been awesome is if, upon them finding out that he was a cyborg, Alucard came back, and it was like, what the heck? I killed you. It's like, no man, only a man can kill me. And he's like, but I am man. It's like, no, you're not. You're a shell of a man as much as I'm a shell, just a different version. And like, because like Alucard kept saying like only a man can kill a monster, and then he didn't kill him with like a little like, well, kind of, actually kind of add thing at the end. I like the idea about the Sarah getting her arm cut off and she absorbing the one like Australian guy that she ended up liking, that I didn't think there was any chemistry there to begin with, and I didn't understand that. But she apparently liked him. You got sexually harassed enough, I guess, in this world, that's fine. It's not. I don't like that. I did not like the fact that she started liking him after the series of it. I didn't like the guy all that much. I understand that they tried to make him like debate like okay or whatnot. I didn't like him, and I didn't like the fact that she kind of went for him and absorbed him, and so now he's part of her, I guess. I think for me, I liked the ending of the anime with the fact that Schrodinger's cat, because he's a cat boy, so he's a cat, kills himself, goes into the blood to be absorbed into him, and his like powers effectively like corrupt Alucard's, and he can see all infinite possibilities and all things at all time. And because the sheer amount of like souls he had in him, it effectively made him unable to process or do anything. I thought that was a very interesting way to stop him. I think my issue I have with that is from a, if I guess my term would be rushed. And it's because we get introduced to this power that he has in episode 9. And you find out that the whole plot from this get-go was that power that he had that was apparently hidden to everyone except like so many people, but all the bad guys knew it somehow. I wish they would have showed the power off more and explained what he was earlier. So you understood what his power is and you saw him use it more often. So that way, whenever he had to go full force and use everything, you got like the gravity of the situation, and then to realize the ploy that was used effectively.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that. They got introduced at the ninth inning. Like they did the whole like release my numbers 1 through 5, and then I'm able to use more powers, I guess. But they didn't explain that. I guess they don't need to. But yeah, like I just wish they would have showed him using it more and explained how the enemy came up with that plan. And then the fact that, and this is a side thing, the fact that Schrodinger's cat is just a Deus Ex Machina to the whole thing was kind of weird. Like their whole plan revolved around this cat boy being consumed into him, so that way like he couldn't function or work. It's like, how'd you know that would work? I was really expecting them to be like, ah, haha, now he's paralyzed. And then his eyes just open up and he's just like, I'm fine. You think that's special? I'm like this super powerful thing. Like I'm used to having billions upon billions of different views and thoughts. This is nothing new. But they're like, okay, it's that. Interesting concept. They never explained where Schrodinger's cat came from. He just always has been around the whole time. And then like the ending where like 30 years later he comes back and the Hellsing girl's older, the one vampire girl, Sarah, is not aging. And he's like, I came back, I had to kill off basically all my other souls except for me, and I'm here and I'll always be here, or I won't be here, or I'm never here, because he still has like Schrodinger's powers. And so I guess now he doesn't need any of the other souls, because he basically is there or not there at will. Like he exists but doesn't exist ever. And so he's they like killed him, but then they just killed him so hard that he became a god effectively. He became omnipotent is what it seems like the story at the end is. And then they end it, and it's like, okay, that doesn't really it leaves you in this weird thing of being like, yeah, you stopped the evil Nazi army,
but now you're,
well, like
now you're out of control.
Well, no, like what's left, like
there's nothing.
what you do, like,
well, he beat all the evil. All the evil's gone now.
No, the Catholic Church still exists. Like, you laugh, but that's literally what that ending was. Like, when the other Catholic people show up and they're like, we could kill them all. And it was like, no, we can't. And then they hit the wall and they see, like, the whole thing is, like, enshrouded by something. Or I thought it was Alucard is what the whole building was enshrouded by, but I guess that wasn't it. And it's like, they're still evil, I guess. But they're like, they know not to cause great conflict or like horrible things. But yeah, like it ends, and it's like, yeah, we killed the Nazis and we killed the Catholic armies for this time, and we'll just keep repeating ourselves every 500 years, it seems, because that was the thing that they said, like, he's seen this multiple times before where they all try to come and kill him, and there's great deaths and everything. And so I think that's the story, is like, it's just a circle, it just keeps going, just the players are different each time.
Gotcha.
It was a cool anime. I liked it. I
good.
process it and enjoy it.
Good.
I think I would watch it for the combat more than anything else, because I don't think anything else, the wacky scenes of people like making weird faces always threw me off, man. I never enjoyed that. Like, it was like when I was watching it, it always took me out hardcore, and I assume they did that for like comedy relief, but that style was so much of a change that it just took me out of the show, didn't take me out of like the seriousness and let me have lighthearted. It's not like Vash Stampede, where he himself is wonky the whole time and only at key points is like serious. This whole show, like, everyone's serious all the time, and it's only the girl isn't. And they do like the weird animation for her, and it's like, it doesn't fit. I don't like it. Stop it, please. you get a C, everyone else gets an A. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was good. I can now officially say that I've watched it, and so people can stop pounding me about it, and I can have a good old day with that.
Okay.
You have anything you want to say about it?
No, I'm excited that you liked it. It was something that, I've been, it's like an oldie but a goldie. That's what I call that
An
anime.
oldie but a goldie.
It's good. I like to watch it once in a while, when I'm bored. I'm like, yeah, I'll just watch Hellsing Ultimate. Yeah, so it's one of those animes that I hold dear to my heart. It's one of the first animes I ever watched, and I was like, yeah, I think my brother would like it a lot. It's goofy, it's ridiculous. There's a lot of cool stuff in it, but yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I'm really happy that you did. So.
Yep, I had a good old time. Well, Austin, next week we're watching a show that is a complete swap. No, about 1/3 of a swap. Because 1/3 of Van Helsing is that creepy, crazy, random comedy stuff. And this is apparently a good show. I don't know. I've never watched it. And I don't know if you've watched. You said you watched a couple episodes of it.
I've watched a couple episodes with my wife.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of it. Our friend Jordan is a big fan of it. Told us that we had to watch it. We've been putting it off for a while, but we had a couple. We have a little bit of a downtime between things finishing up and new stuff coming out and everything. So I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So next week, we're going to watch The Good Place season 1. Mama Burkhart's like, I watched it a while ago. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. This is apparently up her alley and like her level of stuff. So we'll be watching The Good Place season 1. We'll see how we feel about it. And we'll be watching that for next week, I believe. No, not for next week, because no, next week is good. The week after will not be good, because that's when Monster Hunter comes out, and that's whenever I do the Hot Wings challenge with my friend as well. So I won't be able to do it that week. We may be able to push it at some point, but we'll just find out based on the week if we do it or not. So, all right, Austin. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Bros and Shows, and thank you all so much for stopping by, and thank you all so much. Tune in.